across and beyond the Ateneo. And now, let's get ready to run down!
Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng pera. Radyo, radyo, katipunan. Radyo, radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, katipunero sugo. Todo sa kayod, punong at tulong. Iba't the Blue Eagle, galing hiting at tigil. Blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan.
Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle.
Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. The voice of the Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atin mista sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng eskwela. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, katipunero sugo, todo sa kayod, punong at tulong. Iba't the Blue Eagle, galing hiding at tigil, blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan.
The Jesuit Hour.
Wait, what? No! Let's try that again. Join the fun bunch of the Hugot Hour with Father Jboy as we talk about anything and everything under the sun. Share your everyday Hugot moments and everyday Hugot quotes. G, tara na! Usap tayo. Bring your own baon, bring your own Hugot. The Hugot Hour with Father Jboy and friends is now in session.
Okay, cue me lang. Okay, once again, magandang gabi po mga katipuneros at saka katipuneras. Nandito na naman tayo. Welcome to Radyo-Katipunan's The Hugot Hour. And I am your host, I'm Father Jboy Gonzales of the Society of Jesus. Let me tell you something first. Do you know that when I posted the posters for this episode on Twitter, I got a question right away. What's the teaching of the church about gay relationships? And then he quoted an article from the Catechism of the Catholic Church with a side note that I must check my theology. A month ago, the Ateneo de Manila University's Theology Department invited me to moderate a listening session in the 14th National Conference of Religious Educators. The guests were members of the LGBTQIA as well as those working for women, mental health, and also an agnostic. There was no keynote speaker, but keynote listeners, tagapakinig. One of them was my bishop in the Diocese of Legazpi. As you know, I'm a Bicolano. I am a member of the Diocese of Legazpi. Bishop Joel or Bong Bailon and Father Jason Laguerta of the Archdiocese of Manila. You get to see two responses. One from that Twitter person whom I do not know because it's always anonymous. But then you have another response coming from the clergy as Bishop Bailon and Father Jason Laguerta. Two responses to matters of gay relationships. The first one shuts off dialogue and understanding. The latter begins with listening and openness, leading to understanding. The latter is the call of Pope Francis at this present age, and it's called synodality. And what is synodality? It is where the church now listens to various peoples, not just people from the what we call laylayan, as in economically at the peripheries, but all kinds of people. The objective is to glean where the Holy Spirit is leading the church. And that sets where the church is headed in the future. It is in this spirit of synodality that the Hugot Hour pegs itself, to bring to our consciousness the importance of empathy in the practice of faith life. So I actually invited my friends, yes, my friends and my colleagues who can share with us their love stories. And I love their love stories. Exciting, hindi ba? So, we'll let you in about a minute. So once again, syempre, yung stinger muna natin, this is Father Jboy Gonzales and the Hugot Hour is now in session.
Attention please.
Tara na! Grab your baon box. The Hugot Hour is now in session.
Okay, now we're back and we want to be very casual with the Hugot Hour, as you already know. No formal introductions, but I'd like to say a few words about how I met them. They will introduce themselves as we are accustomed also to new faces in our table of life. The first one that I'd like to introduce to you is a good friend of mine. Matagal na kami magkaibigan. Ayan, tapos magkasama kami actually sa Ateneo High School. He was a teacher in science, chem, di ba? In chemistry. And at the same time, ang dami naming kwentuhan, lalo na kapag retreat. At saka lalo-lalo na after class hours. Si Maki Brion, kaya Maki ang tawag ko sa kanya. Pero mas kilala niyo siya at makikita niyo siya. Ang pangalan niya ay Miguel Antonio Brion. Lagi kami magkakwentuhan sa lahat ng bagay. At hindi lang to sa love life. So, kilala ko si Maki bago ang kanyang love story. Pero mas kilala ko si Maki sa mas malalim pang paraan. Kaya ito, tapos ito na, kaya nami-miss ko din to, honestly. Sinabi in public, Maki, no? Nami-miss ko rin ito. Kaya sobra akong natuwa kasi pumayag siya na maging guest natin dito sa The Hugot Hour. So, pakilala ka lang, Maki, yung alam mo na, para makilala ka ng ating mga audience. So, once again, Miguel Antonio Brion.
Thank you, Father. So, good evening to everybody who's listening tonight. So, I'm Maki Brion, no? So, kilala ko magkakaibigan na kami ni Father since, if I'm not mistaken, 2000.
Hindi naman since birth.
Hindi naman, Father. 2011 or 2012, no?
Yeah, 2011, yes.
2011. So, madalas tayo, Father, nagkikwentuhan after work. At pinapakain mo kami ng cupcakes sa office.
Nice.
Natatanda ko yun. Yeah, so, currently I'm still affiliated with Ateneo, pero not teaching anymore. No, so I'm in college na doing a different type of work, but still trying to serve the community, especially our students. So, yun
yes.
po.
Okay, sige. Mamaya na niya ipapakilala. Mamaya sabihin na niya yung kanyang partner in life na sabi ko, kailangan siyang ma-meet. Kasi habang tumatagal na nakikilala ko siya from all of Maki's posts, parang love ko na rin si Arion. Kaya,
he loves you, Father.
So, yun. Okay. So, itong susunod, magkasama kami sa Ateneo de Davao Senior High School. At, bakit bata-bata ka pa, bata-bata pa si Kenon, at saka nagtuturo siya ng, ano nga tinuturo mo? Management, di ba?
Yes, Father.
Management. Kasi si Kian Bautista ay teacher namin sa senior high school at very close ang community namin. But he already left the senior high school, but he's continuing his education in UP Mindanao. Tama? In UP Mindanao. Kaya I'm very happy that I got to connect with him again, even though he left the senior high school. And now, I'm very happy kasi syempre sa kanyang Facebook, kasama niya yung kanyang partner. Kaya nandito yung partner niya. Akala ko nga na separate yung screen na gagamitin. Pero mas sweet kasi to na magkasama sila sa screen. Hindi ba? Ganyan. So pakilala ko na lang. I don't know Justin, but of course, Ken will introduce Justin to us. And si Justin kakagraduate din, hindi ba? Am I right?
Yes, Father. Hello, everyone. Hello, Father. Yun po, I am Ken Bautista. Just like what Father said, I was a teacher.
Hala, nawawala-wala yung ating kwan. Sige lang. Meron po kaming problema sa PLDT dito sa Davao. But never mind.
has a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Psychology. Currently, no, he is a financial consultant under Philippine National Bank.
Di ba? O yan, mas malalaman pa natin silang dalawa. And besides, let us say hi first to many of our listeners today. I have Mr. Gene Jesuro at mga katribo. Katribo ko to eh. Kasama ko to sa office, si Gene. So, Gene says, hello, Father Jboy and guest for tonight. He's so excited when he saw the poster. And also, Glyza is also here. She's our program director for communications. So, good evening, everyone. And also, ang pinakabata namin, si Tim Bravo. Sabi niya, so excited for tonight's episode. So, good evening, Father and guest. Ayan, Nax. Marami na nag-good evening na. So, for those who are listening to us, welcome once again to the Hugot Hour. Nax, simulan na natin? Okay. We got a lot of questions from many of our viewers and also our listeners. Perhaps you're all here. It's all in here. But sabi ko, let's just begin by just making kwento. Social making kwento. Kwentuhan muna tayo ng mga love stories ninyo kasi 'di ba? Everything, especially relationships, it has a story behind it. So, kwentuhan muna tayo ng mga love story. Sinong unang magkwento ng love story? Nakangiti si Justin. Sige, Justin, Ken, kwentuhan na kayo. Sige, ng inyong love story.
Sige, Father.
Kayo na ba nung nasa senior high school ka?
Father, come again?
Kayo na ba nung senior high school ka?
Yes, sir. Yes, Father. We actually started in 2020. Now, we met during the pandemic, and then we just communicated online, and now we're together. We actually started in a long distance setup. Now, he came from Sultan Kudarat. I am so happy to spend a moment with him here in Davao City right now.
Sultan Kudarat? Ang layo nun ha? Paano kayo nakita?
It's actually 8 to 10 hours away from Davao City. We started our communication on Facebook. So I messaged him. Kasi he usually posts online about psychology things. And then I messaged him, hello, Mr. Psychologist. And then we just communicated. Yun, hanggang sa nanligaw siya. Hanggang sa naging kami po.
So nanligaw ka, Ken? Justin?
Yes po.
Paano ka nanligaw? Sige na, kwento ka. Okay lang ba? Okay. You don't have to answer when you are uncomfortable. Okay? So, sige.
Hindi, okay lang po. Actually, siguro ang sign language po, pinapakita ko rin po is making time with him. Like, maski sa lang po, chats, then video calls. Yun lang po, making time. Every time na kailangan niya ng kausap.
Talaga. Ken, kailangan mo na kausap ha. Ganyan na. Sige nga, just gaano katagal kayong usually na nag-uusap sa chat? Bago naging kayo pinag-uusapan pa natin yung panliligaw
Sige po. Actually po, hindi po siya gaano ka-clear yung tawag nito. Hindi siya gaano ka-clear yung intention ko at first kasi ayoko pong maging direct to the point. So yun po na minsan umabot po kami ng madaling araw na nag-chat-chat, nag-uusap. Tapos yun, may time na pabalik-balik na lang rin po yung pinag-uusapan namin.
But remember ka, Father, our very first call lasted for 3 hours. 3 hours yung first call namin kasi gi-screenshot ko talaga yung proof.
Kailangan ng resibo, ha?
Kailangan ng resibo.
Kailangan ng resibo. Baka sabihin, nagsisinungaling ka lang, Keno. So ano yung mga instances when you really need someone to talk to?
That time, Father, I was really anxious. I was having I was into personal problems, about families and then career, and then I was really looking for someone to talk to online. Then Justin posted something about psychology that really struck my attention. And
maalala mo kung ano yan?
I really forgot the message, but it's something about personal life na related to psychology. That's why my very first message to him was, "Hello, Mr. Psychologist." And I just felt like I needed someone who is really good in psychology. And tamang-tama kasi graduate siya ng psychology. I believe he was the person who could really help me with my personal concerns, yun, Father. And then, simula na kami usap-usap about course, about our career. We started as friends until nagka-develop pa. Yun po.
Okay, pag-usapan natin yung pagka-develop pa na habang tumatagal. Just maalala mo kung anong pinost mo?
Medyo hindi na rin po masyado clear sa akin po.
Talaga?
Pero about concern po nun is about pandemic na kung sino po yung mga someone na face po ng problem, something like that po.
Talaga? Hindi mo nakita si Ken bilang pasyente?
Hindi ko siguro may time. May time.
Pero that time, Father, it was really clear in my intention na as friends lang talaga. Then siya naman, naghahanap din siya ng friends. So we started as good friends lang with no intention to be in a relationship. So everything was really unplanned na hindi namin alam na magiging partners kami sa lahat ng bagay.
Sige, pag-usapan natin kung paano kayo mag-click pero later na lang. Okay, sige. Thank you very much, Ken at Justin, sa inyong love story. Ganyan. Maki, ikaw na. Ganyan. Sige. May mga alam ako na dapat sa'yo kong galing.
Sige, Father. I'll try my best.
Okay.
Well, opposite naman kami from Kian and Justin. No? So sa amin ni Arion, by the way, the reason why I'm not with Arion kasi he's a doctor, no? So he has work, tapos medyo mahihayin. But yung kwento namin ni Arion started, we met in a dating app. So dun sa mga nagtatanong, is it worth it to find someone in a dating app? It's totally up to you. I'm not saying the only option. I'm not saying it's the best option. But me and Arion, we found each other in a popular dating app noong 2019. Iba na ata ngayon. So kasi wala na akong dating app. So
okay, dapat lang kailangan mo na i-erase.
Matagal na, Father, matagal na. So, ano po yun parang nag-match kami on his birthday, Feb 2. And then, yun yung dating app na pag nag-match kayo, pwede kayong mag-chat. So,
February 2?
February 2, birthday niya.
I forgot to say happy birthday.
It's okay,
Tell
Father.
him na lang.
Sige po. He's listening actually right now. Siya yung...
Hi, Arion! Belated happy birthday. 1 month belated.
So yun po, Father. Nag-match kami ng birthday niya and then after 2 days, nakita ako. So I started, chatting. So kasi syempre, if you're in a dating app, you want to find someone. So ako kasi medyo aggressive So nung nag-match...
Aggressive ka ba?
In terms of if I want to know someone, I really try my best to know someone. So, yun nga, Father, alam mo sa akin parating planado, di ba? Pagdating kay Arion, hindi planado yung mga nangyari. So, after a few days, that we started chatting dun sa dating app. Alam ko na yung kalakaran sa mga ganyan na parang if you don't like someone biglang mag-ghost yung kausap mo, di ba? So sigurista ako, sabi ko parang I don't check this app often Is it okay if I ask for your number? Ginanon ko na agad. So para kumbaga I have a hold not to communicate with this person. So yun, so we started chatting. Texting, calling, typical, until we transferred to another messaging app kasi sinabihan niya ako na it's very archaic now to text. Modern na daw dapat. So we started, and then after a week or so, we met. Our first date was very simple. Galing siyang duty sa hospital. So pag uwi niya, dinalang ko siya ng McDonald's na breakfast. Sorry, pwede ba sabihin? Basta nagdala
Pwede naman, oo naman. Wala namang dito. That's your story.
So, nagdala ako ng breakfast. Tapos first date namin sa car ko, sa labas ng bahay niya. Naka-park lang kami. So yun yung first date namin. And then very similar to yung kay Justin and Ken, no, we talked for almost 3 hours na galing siyang duty, so walang tulog yun, Father. Pero tiniis ako nito for 3 hours from 9 to 12. Nag-uusap kami sa labas ng bahay niya. Na ang pagkain lang namin, very simple, McDonald's lang. And then it started from there. No, we started dating. I brought him, sakto Feb 14, so I brought him gifts and then started from there po.
Yeah. Pwede mo kwento, anong doctor si Arion?
General practitioner po, Father, as of now. Hindi pa siya nag-residency or nag-specialize. So yun po. But he's working now in a pharmaceutical company as a clinic doctor.
Yeah. Di ba? Buhay talaga nakatayawin sa pagganyan. Pag doktor talaga, sa kanya, yung schedule niya talaga nakaikot sa buhay ng tao. Sabi ko nga, di ba? Okay, now that we know their story, there are a lot of questions being asked by people in terms of your relationships, no? When you started your relationship, what were the struggles? May kinilig na, I'm sorry, sa Facebook. Hi Gladys, ganyan talaga. Yan. How did you start? Tell us about your beginnings. Madali ba? What were your struggles, etc. Napaisip kayo, guys?
Ako na lang mauna. So, well, sa simula kasi sa dating stage, parang you see all the beautiful things in the person. No? So parang, it was really fun. May kilig factor, no? Kinikilig ka, masaya ka. But later on, syempre nagkakaroon din kayo ng challenges. Siguro yung mga challenges na na-encounter namin, hindi schedule eh. I think kasi though he is a doctor, he really tries his best to allot time. Ako naman kasi nung time na yun, I was teaching. So very, the typical 8 to 5 job, no? So parang, 9 to 5 job. So may schedule din talaga. But like, yung isa sa siguro sa mga struggles namin is, minsan hindi lang kayo, kasi may age gap kami, so minsan hindi lang kayo nagkakaintindihan on things,
Yeah.
Ako matagal na rin ako nag-work, so since 2009, 2010, I started working. Alam naman natin, pag ang isa ay nag-med school, delayed ang kanilang, kasi may pumapasok pa rin sila at a certain age, di ba? So yung mga ganung level ba of mga priorities, yung certain level na ikaw ito na yung gusto mo pero siya hindi pa. So constant yung pagko-compromise namin on those things kasi he tries his best to catch up where I am in terms of what I want already in my life. Tapos ako naman I try my best to slow down for him para mag-meet kami halfway. So yun.
You mentioned about age, di ba? May I ask kung what is your age gap?
6 years, if I'm not. Yeah, 6 years. So, nung na-meet ko siya, 3 years, or I was 32, siya kaka-26 pa lang. 26. Oo, kaka-birthday pa lang niya ng 26 years old. So, yun yung gap na yun. Tapos, ako, ang dami ko nang nagawa. Siya, patapos pa lang siya noon ng med school. Natatandaan ko yon kasi hindi pa siya nagbo-board exam nung time na yon. So, may ganun din kaming na struggles nung start ng relationship namin. So, yun, Father.
So, merong age, may nagtanong, pero mamaya ko na gustong tanongin. So, kay Ken and Justin naman, Justin, ano yung mga struggles niyo ng pagsisimula ng relationship talaga? Kasi kaka-anniversary rin nila. Nag-stalk naman. Nakakahiya ako. Siyempre sabi ko, i-guess ko silang dalawa. So, kailangan may alam ako ng konti. Nag-celebrate sila ng anniversary kamakailan lang. At saka naka-post sa Facebook talaga. Pero kayo na magkwento sa sa ating audience, Jazz and Ken?
Sige po, ako po muna. For me din, Father, medyo same po kami ni Sir Maki. Siguro, aside sa age gap, sa experience din po. Kasi ako kakagraduate ko lang nung college, kaya medyo aggressive pa in terms of relationship. Like gusto, time, tayo lang dalawa, usap lang, ito, ganyan. Tapos medyo LDR kami nun since pandemic happened. Then siya, busy siya sa trabaho. Kaya medyo nagkakaroon ng something problem din yun for me. Pero yun po, communication po and adjust lang din po talaga.
Yes, Father. And other than the mentioned age gap and distance, na that time, that our time, magkabilang mundo kami after niya mag-graduate, nag-work siya, pero night shift ang kanyang work. Akin naman daytime. So hindi kami nagkakabangga ng schedule. So very minimal lang talaga ang time na magkausap kami. Like, siguro after niya magising, usap kami ng mga 2 to 3 hours, then work na naman siya, tapos ako na naman ang matutulog. So it was difficult for a few months, no, medyo mahirap, pero ang maganda lang is we were really consistent, no, with our communication. So kailangan talaga yon. So other than communication, you really need to, compromise and then comprehend your partner. Yun po.
Yeah. Maki, you're just doing this. You're agreeing. May we know what's in your mind? What are your thoughts?
Agree ako sa shinare nila na two things, compromise and communication. It's very important. No, if you want your relationship or any relationship to work, you always need to compromise at the same time to communicate. Kasi parang kami ni Arion, yung dynamics namin is I don't want him to change me and I don't want me to change ayoko rin baguhin yung partner ko, no? So it's a matter of not imposing what I want. I try my best not to impose what I want to my partner and same goes to him, no, sa akin. So importante talaga na kung may hindi ka gusto sa, if may complaint ka or may nagugustuhan ka rin naman, you communicate. Kasi hindi naman tayo fortune teller, hindi tayo manghuhula, di ba? So kung yung konting dabog or silent treatment, it will not really help in a relationship. So if you have a problem, let's say, hindi ko gusto yung ganito, how you treated, like what you said a while ago, it's really important that you communicate your feelings to your partner and you adjust, no? It's not just him or her that that should adjust, no?
Yes, there's a burning question here, parang dalawang beses na inulit ni Justin. How long have you guys been together?
Kami po ni Arion, we will hit 3 years na po. 2 weeks from now, mag-aanib. Happy anniversary pa na kay Ken at kay Justin. So mag-aanib 2 weeks from now. So ika-third year na po.
Yes. And
Kami
Ken and
naman,
Justin?
Kami 2 years. 2 years na po.
Wow, okay. Diba? Pero parang matagal na kayong magkasama kasi yung mga ina-advise nyo, yun talaga yung pagmatagalan ng mga kakilala kong couples sa LGBTQIA, but also yung mga kinakasal ko na hetero couples, they always say communication is the key. Diba? Pero anong klaseng communication? Yun ang gusto nating malaman, no? How do you communicate? What am I asking is that this is not just about communicating in the sense that you talk. Is there another way of communicating between couples who are in love? Can it be, di ba may sinasabi na non-verbal communication? Yun din ganyan. What are your expressions of love? And they are kaya nga expressions. They're also way of communicating that maintains a relationship.
Yeah, that's true, Father. No, it's not just limited to verbal communication. But I believe it's not just plain talking to your partner. You really have to comprehend. No, so there should be comprehension, especially if magkaaway or merong disagreements. Then you really need to understand kung ano yung pinahihiwatig ng partner mo through his actions. Yun, and
Sige nga,
sometimes,
sa inyong buhay, bigay kayo ng example. O ano, Ken? Parang klase lang yan. Please give us a concrete example. Nax! Parang tuturo ka na ng high school, no?
ito,
Kwento ka.
Pinaka-recent ito, Father, just yesterday.
Yesterday, grabe.
Oo. I was really anxious for tonight's interview kasi nga hindi kami magkaaway kami kahapon, pero hindi naman ganun kagrabe. He was preparing for dinner and then meron siyang piniprepare na something, tapos nagulat ko daw siya. Then currently kasi medyo not feeling well siya, anxious, tapos nagulat ko pa. Then yun, nagtimpi. So hindi niya ako kinakausap for a very long time. Nag-usap na kami this morning.
Ang long ay gaano katagal?
Since last night hindi siya nag-dinner. Tapos this morning na kami nag-usap. That's why my way of communicating, I brought him in the downtown area. We ate somewhere. Kumain kami for lunch. Marami kang kinain. Kasi isa yun sa mga ways namin na love language, yung food. Basta every time na merong disagreements o hindi kami magkasundo, we go out and eat a lot. Yun po. Then after that, medyo okay na kami.
Sige, natatawa si Just. Kwento ka, bakit yun ang love language ninyo, kain? Anong kinakain nyo? Anong favorite yung food?
Ramen.
Sige lang, go lang.
Mahilig po kami sa ramen. Actually, since then po talaga, since nag-start pa lang po kami kay food po, yung comfort food po talaga namin is noodles po. So, specifically ramen po. Yun po. Siguro yun, every time na medyo nagkakaroon kami ng arguments kay yun, labas, tapos kain, then after that kay yun, okay na po.
Okay na?
Magaling din siya magluto, Father.
Ay, wow. Ganyan. So, tataba ka?
Kaya, when we started our relationship, medyo payat pa kami.
Actually,
ngayon, grabe, ang laki na namin. Sige lang, kain.
At saka dito pa sa Davao, puro kain kaya. Di ba? Sige nga, let me test your Davao knowledge of restaurant. Ano favorite yung ramen?
Ano nga yun?
Sukides. Yung meron kaming small na restaurant somewhere.
Parang Sukideshi yata yun eh.
Near Rojas. Yan yung Japanese
Dito.
restaurant. Ay, malapit lang talaga dyan sa University, Father. Yan yung parang comfort area namin. Pero Ajitama Ramen. Pero we all go out naman kahit saan Japanese restaurant. Okay naman kami.
So madali lang pala kayo kasi papakainin nyo lang, okay na kayong dalawa. Ano yung pinakamahaba ninyong tampuhan? Yung walang pansinan?
Siguro po nung umuwi po ako sa province po namin nung time na, di ba?
Oo. Kasi, Father, every time nagtatampo siya, nag-walk out siya. Minsan naglalayas, nagpupunta sa friends, umuwi sa kanilang lugar. Kahapon nag-communicate naman sa parents niya, uuwi daw siya. Pero hindi naman natutuloy sometimes kasi nga before things become worse, nire-resolve na namin. And yun, we go out and then celebrate things and discuss things na hindi lang dapat limited sa away yung isang relationship. Meron pang mga better things na pwede namin gawain.
How do you communicate? Paano, di ba sabi mo, paano niyo pinag-uusapan ang conflict?
At first, Father, we really spend
Hindi ba ito yung tipo, unang subo, ganyan? First question. Second question. Pag naubos na yung 3 ramen, ikaw yung nang libre, okay na, kasi libre naman.
Actually, Father, before we go out to eat, we really take time to reflect. Binibigyan namin ng time ng each other, especially Justin, na mag-reflect muna. Ayan, Father, medyo hot-tempered daw siya.
Medyo hot-tempered po kasi okay yun. Minsan, if may problem po kami kay ginagawa niya is binibigyan niya po ako ng time to reflect. Ganun po.
Then after that, we
medyo pag gumaan na yung pakiramdam, then saka po lalabas. Tapos doon na po na yung pag-uusapan yung concern po.
Yes, Father. So, time muna before we go out.
Ang maganda dyan, Ken, masyado kang Ateneo. May time for reflection.
Actually, Father, examine.
Parang na-imbibe mo yung examen at saka yung let us spend a few moments in silence, ganyan, para mag-cool down, ganyan.
Actually, Father, I really learned that in Ateneo. Yun nga ang maganda sa amin. Ako kasi medyo mature, na marami akong na-learn na values from the school. And kasi magkaiba kami ng school then I tried to teach him some of the things I learned from the community, from our community at Ateneo. Kasi in a way, na-observe ko na medyo magkaiba talaga yung culture and environment namin. And then the good thing is, he is always willing to adjust. And gusto niya nga mag-work na sa Ateneo or mag-school for master's or doctorate in Ateneo. So that...
tara na, Justin. Game, tara na. Now na. Bilis ha. Kala mo ba ganyan? Bilis, tara na. Let's go. Ganyan. Opening natin August yata.
Gusto niya i-embrace talaga ang Ateneo culture kasi na-observe niya rin sa akin.
May pa-reflection. Ikaw, Maggie, kayong dalawa ni Arion, kailangan namin ma-imagine as, kami mga nakikinig sa inyong story, kung paano nyo talaga ginagawa yung, madali kasing sabihin na we resolve our conflict through food, di ba?
Yes.
But how does it actually happen? We need to imagine it. So, how about you and Arion? How do you resolve your conflict? Ano yung love language na para sa inyong dalawa when it comes to resolving conflicts?
Sige po, Fad. Sa amin, hiwalay kasi kami, iba yung, sagutin ko muna yung love language bago we resolve conflict. So sa amin kasi, the love language that sa pareho kami is touch and quality time. No, so I think ganun din yung kaila Justin Ken, parang quality time that they spend together. So pareho kami ni Arion na touch and quality time. So we need to spend at least when we were dating sa simula, parang mga twice a week, 3 times a week nagkikita kami. Ngayon na medyo matagal na kami. Once a week or every other week is fine kasi we also have other responsibilities. We have work. So yun, madalas we spend time together, quality time talaga, like one weekend together kasi we live in 2 separate houses pa rin naman. We don't have the luxury to stay in one place. In terms of resolving conflict, Father, sa simula sa pool pa lang, siguro dahil I'm older siguro, nag-set na rin kami ng rules sa aming relationship. And I think siguro makakatulong din to sa marami, no? Yung sa amin
kasi, rules? Tama ba yung narinig ko?
No, we set it like, parang rules na yung naisip ko, Father. Parang hindi kami pwedeng matulog ng masamaang loob sa isa't isa.
Akala ko parang constitutions of the Republic of the Philippines.
Alam mo naman tayo, Father, pag nagtuturo tayo, daming rules.
Lalo na ikaw, ang dami mong rules. Ganyan.
Hi pala sa mga estudyante.
At saka yung OC-ness mo, di ba? So, ganyan.
Yes. Sobrang OC ako. Alam ni Arion yun. Sobrang structured akong tao. So parang we both agreed na hindi kami pwedeng matulog hanggang hindi hanggang hindi na-solve yung problem. Kasi parang based sa na-observe namin and then sa previous experiences namin. Kasi before we met, we came from a not so good relationship, no? So yun yung siguro naging jump off namin. Bakit we try our best to fix everything pag may conflict kaming dalawa. Madalas like a few days ago nga nag-conflict kami because of time. Kalaban ko hindi tao pagdating sa time, it's the video games, the hobbies, at alam ni Arion yun, no? So he likes playing video games. I'm not a video game person, hindi po ako gamer. So sa utak ng isang gamer, hindi namin naiintindihan why gamers need to spend so much time playing video games. But sa utak ng isang gamer, importante sa kanila yun kasi release yun ng stress nila. So we need to a balance, no? So I need to recognize that fact and respect that he likes to play video games during his spare time. And at the same time, he also need to address my needs also. Kaya he tries his best to limit it. So yun yung recent na conflict namin. And kahit antok na kami, kahit may next day, may pasok pa ako or may trabaho pa kami, hindi kami natutulog hanggang hindi namin naayos yung problem. At hindi, it doesn't end there. So we also try best to change the topic. Once we agreed on something, we try to change the topic para pagtulog namin light yung mood. Kasi madalas kung tinulugan natin yung problem, the following day, it's okay na, hindi na ako galit. Kasi nakatulog ka na, nakapagpahinga ka na. Pero directly addressing the problem, baka hindi naman talaga nasagot yung problema. Tinulog lang. So, ganun kami. Head-on kami. So parang, if I have something to say, I tell it to him. I try my best to say it as politely as possible. Ganun din siya sa akin. He tries his best to say his side. And then, there are times na we somehow realize kung saan kami nagkamali. And then, hindi lang isang tao yung nagsasorry. That's what I noticed sa amin dalawa. He would say sorry for his shortcomings, and I will also say sorry sa nangyari. So, hindi lang yung isang tao yung sa amin nagsasorry. Pareho kaming nagsasorry.
Yeah.
So, yun po.
Let me pick up from your stories. It is good for many of those who are listening to us to learn really about relationships, because all relationships, they so oftentimes they have the same formula. Like for example, the formula of communication. Saint Ignatius of Loyola said that love consists in the communication of the lover to the beloved and vice versa. So it's a two-way street. But how that communication happens will depend on the couple, because each one is of a different personality, right? Whether yung isa ay the way to just to release whatever hurt, meron mo nang gusto manahimik, tulad ng ginagawa ni Justin at saka ni Ken. Patahimikin mo muna, let the person go on their way first, with their friends, etc. Tsaka magbabalik, di ba, na parang pwede nang pag-usapan. So pwede nang silang mag-date vis-a-vis kainan, di ba? Sabi nga ni Jean dito, sana all may jowang foodie. Nax. Sana all daw may jowang foodie. And then if you look at it also in terms of Maki and Arion, to communicate straightforwardly is another way of communicating and also resolving conflicts. Pero meron isang importante sinabi din si Maki na if you really value the relationship, hindi nyo pinapatagal, di ba? Yun din ang sinabi ni Justin, hindi pinapatagal. Tama ba? What are your thoughts about what I've said? Confirmed, ano ba? Ganyan.
Ako agree, Father. If you value the relationship and the person you are with, don't make it difficult to the person and to yourself. Kasi kahit kunyari, kasi minsan from ang away, from anger na uuwi na sa pride yun, kaya walang magustong mag-sorry eh. At pareho lang pareho lang silang mahihirapan. It will be awkward, no? So if you really value the relationship, especially the person, wag nyo nang pahirapan sarili nyo. Try to fix it as much as fast as you can.
Yeah, I agree. Agree talaga. Justin, Ken?
Yes, Father, we agree, no? In my case naman, you have to understand your partner and you have to understand yourself also. It's really, there's really a need for a perfect acceptance of an imperfect person. No, you have to know na mayroong mga times talaga na hindi perfect na lahat ng bagay. And times will come na magkakaroon kayo ng di pagkakaunawaan, and you should be willing to compromise and be willing to resolve things, no? And yun nga, sabi ni Sir Maki kanina, if alam mo talaga na he is the one for you, it wouldn't be that difficult now for you to resolve things.
Yes. Napakaganda ng sinabi ni Ken about, first of all, it actually requires self-awareness. Kung kilala mo yung sarili mo, napaka-mahalaga yon. Yung tipong hindi nawawala yung sarili mo kasi nagmamahal ka. In fact, dapat nagiging mas lig-on, mas nagiging strong ang iyong pagkakilala sa sarili mo kasi yun ang binibigay mo sa partner mo, di ba? Sa minamahal mo. Or else, hindi nare-respeto kung sino ka. At hindi pag-ibig yon. Ang tawag dyan ay codependency. Tama ba, Justin? Justin, paki-correct ang aking psychology. Nakatawa. Gusto kong tawa ni Justin parang nakagiti talaga siya ganyan. In-agree ka talaga. Justin, ano? Tama ba sinasabi ko?
Yes po, Father, tama po. Sorry po, medyo nahihiya po ako.
Nahihiya, wag ka mag-alala. Pero yun nga. Napakaganda nung insight na yun. Yung self-awareness is very important. And I'd like to quote what Ken said about to respect an imperfect. Pakiulit nga ulit.
Perfect acceptance of an imperfect person.
A perfect acceptance of an imperfect person. O di ba? Mas maganda galing kay Justin, baka marong ako bigla. Nakakahiya. Baka marong ako bigla. Nakakahiya. May tanong dito. Have you ever been jealous of anything or anyone? Sige na. Okay. Have you ever been jealous of anything or anyone?
So, sa akin, siguro jealousy is part of it eh. I mean, hindi mo naman mawawala. It's just a matter of how jealous you are. Sa akin, hindi personal. I said, yun nga yung pag may pinagkakaabalaang iba. Siguro yun yung, sabi ko nga, ang petty. Buti na lang, hindi tao yung pinagseselosan ko, di ba? I mean, video games. So, mas madaling, medyo mas madaling tanggapin na pag nagko-conflict kami, parang nare-realize ko at the end of the conflict, parang ang petty naman pala na pinagsilosan ko. Kaya para ang dali ko lang din mag-sorry. So, yun yung akin. If I may add rin dun.
Siyempre mo naman, kumbaga sa Bisaya, alang-alang ihampas mo yung computer.
Yung computer.
Itatapon mo tapos so paano bibili ka uli?
Mga ganun, Father. If I may add yung sinabi ni Ken kanina na sobrang nag-agree ako dun sa you find yourself kasi nung sa amin ni Arion, before I entered into a relationship, I tried to identify what are my negotiables. So when my friend would ask me, paano gumagana yung relationship niyo? How can I find a person for me? I always tell them, identify your negotiables. Madali magsabi kasi na dapat nakapag-aral siya, dapat may trabaho siya, dapat ganito siya, dapat ganyan siya, dapat ganito. Pero ang hirap mag-identify ng mga negotiables na kung hindi ba siya ganyan, tatanggapin mo pa rin. Kung hindi ba siya ganyan, mamahalin mo pa rin. Because when you identify your negotiables, makikita mo yung ganda ng tao na kahit, I always say, you like the traits that you like about the person, but make sure you love the traits that you hate about that person. Because when you love those hateable traits, you will learn to understand where that person is coming from. Ganun kami maggumalaw ni Arion, no? So kaya I think why our relationship would usually work is we identified our negotiables. Oo, pwedeng hindi siya ganyan, pero ginusto ko siya ng ganyan eh. Ganyan siya bago naging kami. No? Another thing is, hindi po ako naniniwala. Sorry kung naniniwala kayo sa ganito, but hindi po ako naniniwala sa kasabihang, I love you because you complete me. Before entering into a relationship, make sure
sige lang, yung nagsabi yata ng ganun ay, nasa kabilang
Ay, sorry.
Ibang, yung movie ng isa.
So parang ganun, Father, para bago kayo pumasok sa relationship, make sure you're complete as a person. Don't base your worth on the other person. You need to know what you're worth as a person as a whole. Enjoy, kumbaga, sinasabi ko, enjoy mo yung pagiging single mo, kumpletuhin mo muna yung sarili mo bago ka pumasok sa isang relationship. Kasi if hahanapin mo yung sarili mo sa kabilang tao, and if it doesn't work and that person would leave, you would feel totally devastated because you will feel lost. But if you know your negotiables, you know yourself, you know how to make it work. Ganun kami gumagalaw ni Aryan.
Sige, pwede ako magtanong ng personal ng isa lang, just one. Yung pwede mo sabihin in public, anong isa sa mga negotiables mo?
Negotiables na shallow o hindi shallow?
Bahala ka.
Sa akin kasi before, important yung for me, age no una. As in, sabi ko, I don't want to date anyone younger anymore. Kasi ang hirap sa maturity level eh. But then I realized na minsan hindi lang siya nasusukat sa age. Merong mas matanda sa'yo na hindi naman ka-level yung maturity mo. So meron din bata na mas mature pa sa'yo. So isa yun sa mga naging negotiables ko nung time na yon. At isa pa is I told myself I will never date a science person. Kasi science field ako eh. At napansin ko na pag pareho kami ng field, pagalingan, pagdating sa date, I know this. Tapos bigla, no, I know this. Yung parang pagalingan kayong dalawa. Tapos sinabi ko yun mismo kay Aryan, first time namin nag-meet. Sabi ko, I'll be very honest with you, I don't like dating doctors. Ginanong ko siya. I don't like dating science people. That's why most of my previous relationships are people from the arts. Because I learn new things from people from the arts. And yung mga exes ko naman, they learn a lot of things from science. So ang ganda. Pero itong sa amin, isa yun sa parang na-break ko na rule ko na hindi ako magde-date ng isang science person, more so a doctor. Kasi kalaban talaga oras nung una. Yun yung iniisip ko, kalaban ko oras. But now, hindi naman. So yun po.
Wala ka bang natutunan doon sa lahat ng covalent bonds at saka mga ionic bonds, ganyan. Yung gano'n sa chemistry, di ba? They're all about relationships, right?
Yun nga eh, Father.
Polarities.
Buti na lang, Father, ngayong mahina ako sa bio, doctor ang galing sa bio. So at least ang dami ko natututunan ngayon sa sakto nag-pandemic pa before. So at least automatic, may natututunan ako agad what to do.
Yes, you can always say, you can talk about biological life, and I will explain to you the chemical processes that makes it move or something behind it, di ba? After all, biochem, I like biochem. I forgot, pinapaihi namin yung janitor para lang malaman na, para makakuha kami ng sample ng ihi kasi nahihiya kami, may mga klase ko mga babae, di ba? Tapos malaman nila yun yung ihi mo, di ba? Parang ew, ganyan. Ang hirap kaya nun. Di ba? Si Ken and Justin, di ba? Si Ken ay psychology, science. Si Justin ang nasa science. Si Ken ang nasa management. Ganyan. How does this dynamic work for you, both of you?
Actually, Father, it's an advantage for us kasi ako personally, before I went to college, gusto ko talagang mag-psychology. No? My interest is in psychology. Kaso nga lang, I was forced to enroll in business school. And then si Justin naman, his family is into business also. No? So hindi nagkakalayo yung interest namin. So even if we are from different fields, no, we get to understand each other. Then if we fill in namin yung mga pagkukulang namin, no, ako, I lack knowledge about psychology, though my interest is in there. So I get to learn from him. And siya naman, nagla-learn din siya sa akin. And things about financial literacy, sa akin yung nalalearn yan. Yun po, Father. So medyo walang banggaan in terms of our fields.
Nakakuha ka ng Google, no? Nakakuha ka ng Google, di ba? Sige, Kwan, Justin, Alam ko mahihiyain ka. Sabi mo na nahihiya ka sa akin. Sige lang, Justin. Cute naman eh. Ganda nga eh. Ng question natin. Di ba? Kaya, meron akong, meron maganda yung sinabi ni Maki about differences. Di ba? So, and then the negotiables. Sa'yo, ano yung non-negotiable sa inyong dalawa para sa inyong relationship? So kung hindi ka magtatampo, kung itong non-negotiable ay nandun, medyo naiinis ka lang kapag hindi naabot yung non-negotiable. Or sige, kung gusto mo, you can share to us both your non-negotiable or your negotiable.
Sa akin po siguro is time. Even though may time na nakakompromise po kami, tapos may iba siyang ginagawa, but still may ginagawa pa rin siyang other things para po ma-fill in po yung bagay na hindi niya po na nagawa po.
Non-negotiable tayo ang time, no?
Yes po.
Ano yung pwede i-compromise?
Ano ba?
Ramen?
Mahirap siya isipin, Father,
Yes,
kasi
actually.
Ano?
Flexible po kasi kami, parang I don't know na just go with the flow lang.
Ano kasi, Father, we live together now. Na nasa isang bubong na lang kami. So, almost every day we get to see each other. No, parang lahat naman ng bagay ginagawa namin together. Then, for now, mahirap i-recognize yung mga bagay na hindi namin napag-uunawaan, except for very, mga minimal moments.
Yeah. Okay, sige. We'll take a little break by looking at many of our comments. Ang daming nagre-react sa inyong sabi niya, okay, sana all may jowang gustong i-resolve muna ang mga bagay before matulog or knocks. Okay. Sige. At saka sabi niya, totoo, ang hirap nung papasok sa relationship na di ka buo. Imagine kapag di nag-work at in the end, di ka lang basag. Talagang wasak na wasak kapag ganon. Galing yung kay Jean. Tapos, so yun. Si Glyza din, sabi ni Glyza, dapat sa sarili muna talaga. Self-love muna. You can't give what you don't have. O, siba? Okay, totoo. Sige. Diyos ko, na tayo? 7:31 na 30 minutes na lang. Grabe, ang bilis ng usapan natin. Sabi ko, pwede ko bang hindi na ako magra-random? Magtatanong na lang ako dito. One of the things na tinatanong dito, what are your dreams for couples like you? And how do you find the cultural, religious, civic culture in the Philippines vis-a-vis kung ano yung gusto mo nyong marating bilang couple? Yun, ano yung nararamdaman mo with all of these? With our situation, cultural, religious, civic situation in the Philippines?
In our case, Father, I believe na almost all partners naman or people in a relationship want to be recognized, not necessarily na mapakasal talaga sa church, but at least recognized under the law. And I am really happy na nadidiscuss siya now during elections, the thing about civil union. Kasi we are really looking forward about civil union na marespeto yung aming karapatan as couples, as partners, because just like other straight couples, we're also human and we deserve the benefits from the government, we deserve the treatment from the people. Medyo wala na akong problem with acceptance. Maybe not really accepted, but we are tolerated in community. We can demand more, pero at least we are already there. We're doing something para ma-achieve natin yung full acceptance of LGBT couples. Pero politicians can do more. And civil union is one thing that we always pray for. Pero at least man lang ngayon, at least in the future, it wouldn't be that difficult for us.
Yes. Tama ba yung napaka-importante yung distinction ni Kian and Justin about what they hope will be vis-a-vis our civil life not everyone is Catholic, by the way. That's the first thing I want to say. Not everyone is Catholic. So, vis-a-vis religion, hands off ang sinasabi nila Ken and Justin. Kasi kanya-kanya lang yan na religion. Kanya-kanya din na acceptance. Depende sa dun sa turo ng simbahan nung religion na yon, di ba? Iba din ang turo ng Muslim. Iba rin ang turo ng Iglesia ni Cristo. Iba-iba yung mga, pero at the very least, ma-recognize, mabigyan ng tamang karapatan sila bilang bilang citizens ng ating bansa. Tama ba yung sinasabi ko? Yun ang sinasabi nilang civil union. Yung civil union, kumbaga, ni-recognize ng state para mabigyan sila ng karapatan na para sa lahat ng heterosexual couples. Am I right? Tama ba? Paki-correct ko, Maki, whatever, gumaganon kayo. Sige.
Tama po yun. Agree din po ako sa sinabi nila Sir Ken and Justin na yun nga po, just a recognition of the rights of everybody. Civil union, I'm for civil union as well. Tama po yun, not everyone has the same religion. No? So, hindi naman kami humihingi yung marriage and all, but more of recognition of the state such that we can have equal rights as well. So I totally agree po with Ken and Justin.
Yes. So I think malinaw na malinaw 'yon, 'di ba? So kung yung isang tao na Katoliko halimbawa, mag-adhere sa turo ng simbahan, 'yun ang kanyang religion, 'di ba? Pero hindi lahat, in other words, religion cannot impose itself to everybody. Especially there are people who are not of the same faith, di ba? The separation of church and state is for the government na hindi makialam sa religion. Baliktad 'yon. So sinasabi natin. So napakamalinaw na ang gusto talaga ng LGBTQIA na couples is sabi nga ni Justin din at ating director, pantay na pagtingin at pagtrato as citizens. Okay, may tanong din dito na nandito na rin siya. Sabi niya, was it easy for you to tell your family and friends that you have entered a relationship of the same sex? Does your family know? Are they supportive? If there was a process, halimbawa gradual yung process, how did they gradually accept both of you? So ganon. May kwento kayo tungkol dyan? Kasi it's true, no? Struggle talaga sa tao. Lalo-lalo na kung hindi ka pa talaga out. Diba? It's a violent experience. Okay.
About dun sa gender father, it's something that we didn't discuss in the family. Now, since birth, we did not talk about gender, LGBTQ, my identity. Now, it's something that they respect from the very beginning. And I believe even if I approach them about my gender identity, no, they already accepted it. I am confident about it kasi ngayon, Justin and I are living in one roof. And we are living with our parents. No, so it was really a smooth journey in my case. And I believe same case with Justin, though nasa malayo yung kanyang parents and very sensitive yung community nila doon sa Sultan Kudarat. But it's really good. It was really good na smooth lahat. Wala kami naka-encounter ng difficulties in presenting our relationship to our family and to our relatives. Very accepting na lahat po.
So, tama ko no, yung sinabi mo. So, with both of you, you also have your parents with you.
Yes, Father. So, we are living here in the house of our parents.
Ay, ang galing. Siyempre, marami magsasabi. Sabi nga, sana all daw. Sana all. Ganyan. Sana all. So, okay. May mga tao talaga pinagpapala, di ba? Yung iba talagang nag-struggle. Maki, you want to say something?
Sa amin po, siguro dahil lumaki kami sa, well, iba kasi yung context na dito kami sa Metro Manila. No? So, wherein more people are, ibang mag-isip. mas kumbaga mas madaming mas open-minded, no. So me and Arion, we came out to our families, no. So pero hindi pa kami nun together. So his family know already he's gay. My family already know that I'm also gay prior to meeting each other. And then that's why when we started dating, tas naging kami, una kong pinakilala si Arion sa family ko. So, and of course, I'm fortunate enough to have parents who are very open-minded, to have a family that's very open-minded and supportive. So, they love Arion more than me pa nga minsan. Tapos may message ako ng mommy ko para
Parang ano yan, parang narinig ko rin yun sa'yo. Parang mas mahal yata ng parents ko si Ariel kasi sa akin.
Pero wag ka, Father, I feel naman na mas mahal din ako ng mga kapatid at pamilya ni Arian.
Baliktad lang.
Joke lang. Pero yun po, parang iniisip din siya ng family ko. Like, for example, pag sa Pasko, kasi they live abroad now eh. So, pag sa Pasko, uy, anong shoe size ni Arian? We want to give a gift to him. Magugulat na lang ako. Biglang may regalo yung magulang ko kay Arian. Yung akin, hahabol na lang. Mas uunahin siya. Yung mga ganun.
Sino mo yan?
Okay lang yung Father. Kasi parang sa akin, at least my family loves him. And ganun din naman sa amin. Parang when I'm with his family, kasundo ko rin yung mga kapatid niya, yung dalawa niyang sisters, pati yung mom. So, swerte lang din kami na we have very supportive and open-minded families. So yun po. So going back dun sa question na what if yung ka-relationship mo ay hindi out, no? Sa akin kasi I made it a non-negotiable eh. So I made sure kasi I don't want to ma-feel yung pain na tinatanggi. At the same time, ayoko rin maka-inflict ng pain dun sa magiging partner ko if he is not comfortable. Na para mo siyang finorce na mag-come out ka kasi tayo, parang gano'n. So may struggle talaga na gano'n. So isa yun sa ginawa ko talagang non-negotiable. But I cannot say for everyone, no? Kasi minsan, syempre, iba yung context nila, baka okay yun sa kanila. So just wait, give it time, no? Like what Arion's mom said when Arion introduced me to her. Ang sabi niya, oo, sa simula nagulat ako. Pero through time, matatanggap ko at naiintindihan ko rin naman. Kasi at the end of the day, anak niya naman si Arion at mahalaga naman ako kay Arion. So I think just give your parents time. They will learn to accept what's happening, especially to you. If they value their sons, daughters, no, for sure maiintindihan nila.
Maganda yung parang kasi I think acceptance is a process. It does not happen right away, di ba? So in all types of accepting something that is new or even accepting something that you do not want to accept, it will take some process. And it's the same thing with other people who are accompanying you in life, right? No? Si Justin at sasakyan, yun din nagsabi niya, same that sobrang nakakatulong kapag ang parents mo ay tanggap kayo. I think it will be devastating kapag hindi, di ba? Justin Pontino has said it's a validation of their acceptance. Thank you, Justin. So ang ganda ng usapan natin, sa totoo lang, di ba? So nakikita ngayon, gusto ko nga magtanong, no? Ano yung advice mo sa parents kapag alam mo bilang parent na your son or daughter is a member of the LGBTQIA? Because I think nothing escapes our parents. They already know. They're waiting for you to say it, but because of their culture, where they come from, for example, I'm Gen X. Gender is not, we don't talk about it. And it is also embarrassing to ask. So may ganong kasing hesitancy. But before that, no, let me read some comment. Team Bravo said, "Indeed, if you can't love yourself, how on earth can you love somebody else?" Okay. May tanong si Jean. Sabi ni Jean, how is dating in public nowadays? Do you still get some negative reactions from others? And what's your worst experience? And how were you able to shrug it off? Na-gets niyo? Anyway, malinaw naman, di ba? Grabe naman kasi Jean magtanong, parang pwede ba yung pa-Miss Universe na tanong? Yung mga one sentence lang, one question lang. Parang ano tawag natin dito, Maki, yung mga teacher dito. Ken, ano bang tawag natin dyan? A series of questions. Ano yung parang essay, di ba yung parang essay. Sunod-sunod, di ba? Pero gets you naman. I think Jean is asking about how does dating in public how is it experienced though as when you date in public? Are there people who give you some stares, etc. Sige, what are your thoughts?
In our case, Father, there are times, yes, but the thing is, we adjust ourselves. Yun yung parang sa amin, kami yung in a way, nag-a-adjust no, in the community we are in. Kasi meron mga community na very accepting. Meron din community na it's something very sensitive and new to them. No, so, ina-adjust namin yung sarili namin sa location na pinupuntahan namin. But the good thing here in Davao City, especially in the downtown area, is now people are really accepting. Wala naman kaming na experience na discriminate talaga. Some people pa nga, they see LGBT couples as cute, no, even if it's something new. Pero unlike before, no, when we were still children, mga 5 or 10 years ago, yun talaga grabe yung discrimination. But now, the mindset of people is evolving. Now, in a way, nag-a-accept na sila. Though hindi pa talaga lahat.
Yeah. Maganda yung sinasabi mo about adjusting. Si Justin, pwede mong i-describe sa amin ang iyong community sa Sultan Kudarat. Pag sinasabi mo very sensitive sila, dahil ba maraming Muslim? Dahil ba is it about religion? Or yung culture ay medyo traditional pa? Alam mo na, gano'n naman kasi talaga. Iba-iba kasi ang culture.
Yes po. Actually, Father, kay ano po siya, more on sa culture po. But now kay medyo na paunti-unti na rin po na-change since of course dumadami na rin po talaga yung sa LGBT community, especially sa amin din po. Medyo lumalaki na rin po yung community doon kaya paunti-unti. Pero there are times po talaga, especially yung mga older po, yung mga elders na if malaman nila na in a relationship ko with the same sex, ganyan, kay medyo hindi po nila matanggap, and there are meron ibang may mga kakilala rin po ako na ganun pa rin po still yung mindset nila about same sex. So, yun po, na adjust na lang din po para hindi po kami yung maging source na kumbaga makasala po sila ba na maka-badmouth sila sa ginagawa namin or what.
Okay. Ang ganda nung yung adjustment, I think is a mature way of dealing with people and with your culture. Kasi hindi naman yung totoo na dahil ito kami, therefore i-insist ko yung kung sino tayo sa mga tao, di ba? Halimbawa ako bilang pare, di ba? Hindi ko pwedeng i-assert yung pagiging pare ko sa iba-ibang communities, lalo na pag puro Muslim. Halimbawa, ako mismo mag-a-adjust. So ako pa rin ba yung pare na ganito ka ka chill daw, ganyan. Alam niyo naman ganito yung energy ko, di ba? Pero pag pumunta ako sa isang medyo conservative na community, kailangan ko pa rin siyang mag-adjust. Di ba? Na hindi ako pwedeng maging magaslaw tulad ng nakikita nyo regularly. Am I still Father Jboy there? Yes. Di ba? And I think that is the same thing as what you have both said, that adjustment is part of the maturity. You are also sensitive to the culture. Kaya nga, di ba, Ateneo High School, cultural sensitivity at tawag dyan. You are sensitive to other people. So you do not want to scandalize them when they're not ready. So hindi mo aawain yung mga matatanda na hindi ka tanggap. Adjust ka na lang. Kasi, di ba, I think you're more mature by saying na, sige na lang, let them be where they are. I don't think it's worth na makipag-away ka pa doon. So I think ang ganda nung sinabi ni Ken at saka ni Justin na how we can all adjust to a certain culture. At yung sinasabi na sa dating, kung balik tayo kay Jean, sinasabi din ni Justin at saka Ken, yung tipong, well, pag kumain kayo sa labas, hindi na naman kailangan mag-cuddle, right? Hindi naman kailangan. Ganyan. Iisipin mo rin yung nasa paligid mo. So parang ganun. What are your thoughts about this, Mac?
Sa amin kasi, Father, diba? Metro Manila. So,
yeah.
Parang
maganda nga itong kwentuhan natin kasi makikita mo yung provincial culture vis-a-vis the metropolis.
Oo, so natututo rin talaga ako from Ken and Justin kasi parang ganun pala. Kasi 'di ba parang lumaki na kami pareho dito sa Metro Manila. So totally different yung context. Sa amin naman ni Arion, mas marami pa nga kami nakikita ngayon na comfortable na LGBT relationships na nag-show ng public display of affection, no, in the public places. So pag pumupunta kami sa mga malls,
like what mall?
Mega Mall, Shangri-La.
Mega
Mall, Shangri-La, yung mga ganun, like BGC, Greenbelt, yung mga ganun po. Comfortable na yung mga tao. You see two women holding hands, two men holding hands. I mean, it's not even, parang hindi na siya nagiging issue. Pero of course, may iba na titingin, lilingon. Pero bihirang-bihira, Father, siguro swerte rin kami na bihirang-bihira na may lalapit sa amin na they found na offensive yung pag-holding hands namin ni Arion, let's say, in public. Kasi, syempre, di ba, Father, ako kasi tumira din sa ibang bansa. So parang nakasanayan ko na kunyari mag-holding hands in public, hindi ako nahihiya. So buti na lang yung mga nakakasalamuha naming tao, hindi rin sila kumbaga they don't find it offensive. So yun naman yung kinaganda rin ng pagtira namin dito sa Metro Manila. No, I think yun yung, kumbaga, mas maraming open-minded na tao. Pero of course, hindi mo rin nga po may iwasan na may mga tumitingin din. So, sa amin na lang is hanggang hindi naman kami nakakasakit, hindi kami nakakatapak ng tao, then okay naman po sa amin yun.
Okay. Dami pa natin pwede pag-usapan, nakakainis. Sige, maybe later lang to. Pero it's very, very interesting. Ito naman, I'd like to ask this question. Partly because I'm a priest, diba? So I'd like to ask this question within faith life, okay? In whatever religion. If you notice, I never ask about your religion, diba? Why? Because the struggles within a religion is also different, diba? So I'm curious about faith life. And when we talk about faith life, this is not just the rules of a religion. This is the faith life that is being practiced by you, di ba? By you, no? Can you share to us your struggles vis-a-vis your faith life, and what about your faith life that also helped you strengthen your relationship, as well as what about faith life that has challenged you vis-a-vis your relationship? Kaya di ba? Okay lang ba yun?
Parang lumevel up agad yung tanong, Father. Sa amin, kasi I grew up in a Jesuit setting. So parang all my life, Jesuit education talaga ako. So, since ilang taon, 7 years old, hanggang ngayon nasa Jesuit, parang na-part pa rin ako ng Ateneo. So, yun yung parang kinaganda sa, hindi ko pinopromote na yun yung the best, pero parang yun yung kinaganda rin sa sa training ko na habang lumalaki na tutunan kong to still practice my religion, see the difference between practicing my religion and being a part of the LGBT. Kasi parang na-encounter ko yung tanong na to nung nag-aaral ako ng master's abroad. Kasi let's say Spain is highly Catholic, ganun. Tapos they would always ask me, do you go to church? I go, yes, I go to church. Do you believe in God? Yeah, I believe in God. Then they would ask me, paano mo nagsasabay na nagpa-practice ka at you still part of the LGBT? And I always say naman to them, it's because of how I was trained na it will always boil down on how you treat others. Na if you treat others well, di ba nga man for others. Yun yung sabihan sa atin.
Pero ang kapatid, hindi na natin ginagamit yung man for others. Kasi para inclusive na tayo. Hindi na nga rin men and women for others. Ang tinuturo ko dito ngayon, because we really would like to establish a very inclusive, welcoming community. Alam naman ito nararamdaman to ni Ken sa senior high school, di ba? Kaya tinatawag na namin persons for others para it welcomes everyone. So even our language has changed already. Nax, okay lang na siningit ko pasensya ka na.
Okay lang, Father. At least natututo akong bago. Mas maganda nga po yun, persons for others. No? So yun, parati kong sinasabi na if you treat others with respect, I think that's one way of serving the Lord, of practicing my religion. Yun na lang ko. In terms of struggle, sa relationship namin ni Arion, si Arion kasi is Catholic but non-practicing kasi his family parang yung setup is hindi naman siya strict na Catholic na nagpa-practice. And nung simula, yun nga nag-usap kami about it. And then pareho kaming, kumbaga, we decided on parang nag-decide kami na, sige, I will not force what I believe in you and you also will not force on your beliefs to me, but ang nag-agree kami sa fact na we need to treat each other with respect. We need to listen, we need to listen to each other such that we can make it work. Yun yung napag-decide na namin dalawa.
Sige yan. Magsisimba ba si Ariel kapag ako mag-misa?
Oh, Father, sabi ko, magsasama mo ba ako magsimba? Sabi niya, okay lang naman po siya. Hindi naman siya yung tipong hindi magsisimba. Yun po.
Yeah. Sige. Siyempre, hoping ako na, siyempre kung si Father Jboy mag-misa ako. Magsisimba ako. Pero excited. Ariel, if you're listening, I really want to say hello again. Okay. All love. So, Ken, Justin, okay lang ba sagutin niyo yung aking tanong? Is it okay?
Yes, Father. Actually, we're both Catholics naman. There were times na I really questioned, tama ba na nasa LGBT community ako? Kasi nga, I get to hear comments from friends, from other religious people, na is in the Bible, na ganyan. So, napapatanong ako sa sarili ko if it's tama ba or hindi. Now, the good thing is, Justin is really a prayerful person. And every time I encounter conflicts, even on my mind or even literally, he reminds me to go back to God and discuss to Him my thoughts. If hindi ko man makuha yung 100% na sagot na gusto ko, at least I get the comfort with God. And if there are confusions in my mind, pinapasa Diyos ko na lang, and I believe na sometimes I will get the answer talaga. But for now, He always reminds me to constantly talk to God. We always pray together. Yun po.
Max, hi, parang nakaka-inspire talaga kayo talaga. Sa totoo lang, ganyan. Alam niyo, minsan ako rin napapatanong din ako niyan because I've been guiding LGBTQIA couples, and at the same time, I get to see the conflict, but at the same time, I get to see doors opening. Okay. The reason for that is just this. I do not begin I do not begin with the law. Okay, as Jesus would say, the man is not made for the Sabbath, but the Sabbath is made for man. So the law is made for people. So the first thing to ask is about people, and we all know that the greatest commandment is the commandment of love. So you begin first that way. There are many things we will all agree despite all of our differences, whether in gender, religion, color, or whatever. Ang dami na tayong diversity. Mindanao is a diverse community. We're tribe people, ganyan. Respect is very much embedded in our language of love. So doon lagi ako nagsisimula. As in many issues, merong kailangan pag-isipan ng mabuti, madaming reflection, as you say. But if there are no people, because they all left, to talk about it, the teaching will not change. Diba? Many teachings in the church have become because there was dialogue, as Pope Francis in the synodality would say. So yun yung kwan. Ngayon, magtatanong na ako, pinakahuli. Ito na lang, kasi synodality pinag-uusapan natin na sana yung simbahan nakikinig, ganyan. So itong tanong na to is very important. Is this, what are your hopes for the church? If all of you are Catholics, ano yung hope nyo para sa simbahan? Vis-a-vis your relationship? Or maybe pwede rin, what is your hope for many schools in creating an accepting and inclusive community of learning? Diba? Grabe, biglang nag-dead air. Sa Bisaya kasi ang ganda. Actually, yun nga. Unsa ang imong paglaom para sa simbahan? Of course, alam mo sa simbahan, sa totoo lang, pag pumasok ka, tumingin ka ng mas maayos. Ang daming members ng LGBTQIA na nagsisimba. Okay. Pati mga paret madre. I mean, nandun na lahat, no? So medyo titanungin mo kung in the Philippines ba, are we inclusive? Or is the Philippine church more accepting and welcoming? So maybe that one. Ano yung kuan niyo? Ano yung hope niyo para simbahan?
Ano kasi, Father, it's really a sensitive topic, no? I have encountered a lot of priests.
It's one of the present issues being discussed by the church now. So continuous ang kwan. So it's a topic that is being developed, kumbaga. Kumbaga, ano man tawag niya sa news? Developing story. Yeah.
Yes, Father. I really appreciate church people, priests like you, who really recognize the LGBT community. But I also have encountered other religious people who are really hesitant to talk about LGBTQ. No, there were times we initiated the discussion with them, but they really declined. I am really hopeful na hindi naman talaga i-change yung mga regulations or rules for LGBT, but at least recognition that we exist in a community, no, and that is, I believe, one of the first steps now for a full acceptance. Pero we are far from it. But sa ngayon man lang, at least we are recognized. Yun lang po. A simple recognition, Father.
Yes. Thank you, Ken and Just. Okay. Maki, how about you? Ikaw talaga closing remarks, ha?
Sa akin, Father, siguro I'll go back na lang sa dun sa simula, kung bakit, how to make a relationship work. Now, I think let's see the church and the LGBT community as like a couple. No? They're in a relationship also, and I think for it to work, I just hope for better communication. No, sisegundahan ko yung sinabi nila Justin and Ken na to recognize that we really exist. No, hindi kasala. Parang for me, signs of the times. No? Things are changing and we cannot be stuck to the past. Rather, let's listen to what the people around us are saying. No, let's communicate, let's dialogue, because at the end of the day, wala namang wala namang hindi naayos kung maayos ang usapan. Kung parehong nakikinig at parehong nag-i-impart ng mga mabuting bagay sa isa't isa. No? Parang I think I see it as two entities, no? The church and the LGBT community, and both have their own identities. And similar to two people in a relationship, determine the negotiables, determine the non-negotiables, find yourself, and then eventually try to help each other such that we can enrich both parties. No? Same goes with the school kasi kasi part rin po ako ng school na. Yun, but i-recognize din at respetuhin din natin yung mga lalo na yung mga estudyanteng nasa part na LGBT kasi struggle na yon within themselves na to find their true identity, lalo na if they're trans, for example. It's a struggle. It's not easy. And these kids, these students need the support of everybody, their family, the school, their friends. The more we shun them away, the more we lose touch to them at lalo silang, mahihirapan at pwedeng mawala sa landas. So I think, yun lang, let's support each other. Let's respect each other and listen to one another.
Yes, thank you very much. So that ends our conversation, and really, ang ganda na ang ending talaga natin dito. Sana mag-uusap. And we already call it dialogue. Alam mo, dialogue. And when everything's a dialogue, it's like we're all on the same table. We are all people loved by God, but there are many things that we have to talk about, di ba? But everybody's welcome at table, as Jesus has welcomed all of us at table. Okay, so once again, maraming salamat. That was fun. Parang ang daming. That was really fun. So for Maki and Arion, hello Arion. Thank you very much for sharing your love story to us. And also for Ken and Justin, thank you very much for also sharing your stories with us, because I think not that I think, I really felt that we have learned a lot from you. And at the same time, many hearts have been opened because of your stories. So, sobrang thank you. Don't leave yet after the show. Okay, so again, thank you very much ulit sa ating mga guests ngayong gabi. My dear Katipuneros and Katipuneras, let me talk to you. When Pope Francis redirected our gaze to those in the peripheries, it was not just an invitation to rethink how we have ostracized many people from our lives and our communities. Being in the peripheries, it did not happen accidentally. We have, in many ways, even consciously or unconsciously, brought people to the peripheries. The church, who is universal, who welcomes all, regardless of our differences, embraces all in love, has oftentimes become more exclusive than inclusive. It is an invitation to look at all people and relationships in the lens of love. If you know what Pope Francis is saying, to zero in on mercy, mercy means to include all and to develop a culture of welcome, wherein the stranger is welcome into our hearts. There will be struggles, of course, notwithstanding, but it is in this spirit of listening with the heart, that can enhance church teaching. So let's continue to dialogue, as our guests have said, as we welcome all people in the table of life. So once again, thank you very much for being with us tonight. So let me thank again James and Justin for helping me at the backstage of the Hugot Hour. If you have topics that concerns you and you would like me to consider them here at the Hugot Hour, please message me on all my social media accounts at Jboy Gonzales SJ. On Twitter, Instagram, I have my YouTube channel, and also, of course, on TikTok. Watch out for my upcoming podcast, Jescom Podcast, Juice at Diyos, talking about thorny topics as today. Diyos ko, within the ambit of faith, Diyos ko. Only on Spotify. So good night, everyone. This is Father Jboy Gonzales from the Society of Jesus, or of the Society of Jesus, your host, wishing you a great week, a wonderful week ahead.
The Hugot session is now closed. See you next week for another episode of the Hugot Hour with Father Jboy and friends. Subscribe to Father Jboy on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok at Jboy Gonzales SJ and Radio Katipunan socials for more Hugot. This has been the Hugot Hour with Father Jboy and friends.
Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan.